Hey everyone, it's Gina with Purdue Extension Floyd County, and now that the weather's turned a little colder, we're going to take our beginning gardening series inside and analyze that soil test that we took at the community garden. So, time to find out what our soil test said.
So this is our soil sample results from the community garden. And what you can see is it gives a owner sample ID at the top. And we put on our sample that we were looking for a vegetable garden and that it got 7+ hours of sunlight. So that's the information denoted kind of towards the top of our bar graph. And it says who the county educator is because I sent this to University of Kentucky. That's kind of information that they put on it. Other soil testing companies will put other information there. So as you can see on our chart, our soil pH came back as a 5.1. So for a vegetable garden, that is very low. For vegetable gardens, we want between a 6 and a 7, really aiming for that 6.5. Nitrogen, you can see, does not have any information on it, and that's because nitrogen is a very mobile element and moves rapidly through the soil profile. So it doesn't have any test results because it's not tested for. But over on the far right, it does say that we would need between 2 and 3 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. And then we're looking at phosphorus, and it came back as low, and we need to get to add 3 to 5 pounds of P2O5 per 1,000 square feet. And potassium came back as 120 pounds per acre, which is also low, and we need 3 to 5 pounds of potassium to increase our levels to the right growing levels for what we want to grow in a vegetable crop. Now, these levels always fluctuate depending on the soil pH, what's growing near the soil, if you've amended the soil in the past or whatever. So these numbers are always kind of in flux a little bit. That's why it's always recommended to have your soil tested every 3 to 5 years. And then if you're seeing problems, maybe a little sooner than that. And then we have calcium, magnesium, zinc, which are also represented, but those are all in the good category or high category. And then our cation exchange capacity and cation saturation. Those two I don't really do a lot with, but we can fix some of those other levels as needed. Now, because calcium, magnesium, and zinc are high, there's not a lot I can do to make them lower. Like if they were very high, there's not anything I can do to make them lower. They're just more available. The pH, as we scroll down and look below the graph, says that we need 110 pounds of bag lime per 1,000 square feet. So lime is used to raise pH. Sulfur is used to lower pH. As we raise that pH, it is possible that our potassium and our zinc levels may increase a little bit because they are available based on pH in the soil. So then if we scroll down a little further, it gives comments about what it says in the graph, and then towards the bottom it does give examples of what we could apply. So if we really weren't concerned, well, let me back up. It gives nitrogen, P2O5, K2O. So these represent nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and they're always represented in that order. If you go buy a bag of fertilizer, it has 3 numbers on it. It's usually a simple one is 10, 10, 10, 12, 12, 12. Those are percentages, and they always represent nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium in that order. So NPK. So the first recommendation, if we were only focusing on nitrogen, would be a 3400. So that means our bag would have 34% nitrogen and would have no phosphorus or potassium in it. If we want to do a 10, 10, 10, which would kind of be more helpful to us because we know we need to add all 3 into our soil profile, we would need to apply 20 pounds, and that's 2 pounds of actual nutrient. So this is based on using per 1,000 square feet. Okay, so this is just an example of what we were looking for. We could also, looking at our graph, even though we know we need phosphorus and potassium, that pH of a 5.1 may tell us that instead of growing vegetables, maybe I just need to add a little bit of lime and start growing blueberries, because blueberries like a more acidic soil. So this is kind of a real general what a soil test would look like and what these numbers mean. Sometimes you have to do a little math because not everyone has just exactly 1,000 square feet. So we have to tweak those a little bit as needed. Hopefully this helps you as you just do soil tests and get your soil test results back. You're always welcome to reach out to Purdue Extension, Floyd County. If we have your test results on file, we can help analyze those. If you're, in a different county, reach out to your A&R educator or agent, depending on where you live at, and ask them to help you. Or if you go through the company, they can also help you determine what your soil test is and kind of how to interpret those results so you get the right information to make those changes to your growing area. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to the Purdue Extension Floyd County office or myself, and we'll be happy to answer questions. Again, drop questions in the comments below so that we can, answer them in further or in future videos.